The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. This simple, powerful statement from Carl Jung encapsulates the entire purpose of the journey we have been on. Not to become a better version of someone else, not to live up to a collective ideal, but to have the courage and to do the work, to become the unique, whole, and unrepeatable individual you were born to be. This is the fruit of the individuated life. Welcome for the last time to Mapping the Soul. We have traveled from the conscious ego to the vast unconscious. We have met our persona, our shadow, and our inner partner, and we have glimpsed the unifying power of the self. Now we ask, what does it all mean? How do we live this in the real world? What does the individuated life look like? The first thing to understand is that individuation is not a state of perfection. It does not mean you are free from problems, pain, or conflict. On the contrary, the individuated person often has a greater capacity to bear conscious suffering because they are no longer running from the difficult truths of life or of their own nature. They are no longer at war with themselves, so they have more energy to engage with the challenges of the world. An individuated life is one that is lived in a continuous, conscious dialogue with the self. The ego has not disappeared, but it has found its proper role. It is the executive arm of the self. It listens for the guidance of the deeper psyche through dreams, intuition, and synchronicity, and then uses its skills of logic, planning, and action to bring that guidance into reality. This transforms a person's relationship with their work. Work is no longer just a way to earn a living or to build up the persona's status. It becomes a vocation, a calling. It becomes the primary vehicle through which the individual expresses their unique gifts and contributes to the world. They are not just doing a job, they are living their personal myth. A myth, in the Jungian sense, is not a false story. It is a deep, archetypal story that gives meaning and purpose to our life. Are you the healer, the teacher, the builder, the artist? The individuated person has discovered their myth and is consciously living it out. Their life has a narrative coherence, guided by an inner purpose. Their relationship to love and other people also changes, because they have withdrawn their major projections and have built a relationship with their own inner partner. They are free to love others for who they truly are, not for who they need them to be. They can engage in relationships with a combination of deep connection and healthy detachment. They do not lose themselves in the other, because they are firmly centered in their own self. The individuated life is also marked by a new relationship with mortality. Jung believed that one of the most important tasks of the second half of life was to prepare for death. By building a connection to the self, the timeless, eternal part of the psyche, our fear of death diminishes. Our ego, our personal story, will die. But we have come to identify with something much larger, something that feels like it participates in eternity. We can face the end of our life not with terror, but with a sense of completion, of having lived the life that was uniquely ours to live. There is no final arrival point for individuation. It is a lifelong process, a continuous spiral of descending into the psyche, integrating what we find, and returning to the world with a greater sense of wholeness. The dialogue never ends. The journey of living this is the practice itself. It is the daily commitment to listening. It is the courage to keep facing your shadow. It is the humility to know that your ego is not in charge. It is the joy of feeling your life being guided by a wisdom deeper than your own. The great gift of this journey is that you become the author of your own life. You are no longer unconsciously living out a script written by your family, your culture, or your unexamined fate. You are consciously co-creating your life story in partnership with the deep intelligence of the self. You are living your own myth, and in doing so, you give the world the one thing that only you can give, the gift of your own unique and fully realized individuality. That is the ultimate contribution. That is the masterpiece. Thank you for taking this journey into the map of the soul. The map is not the territory. The real exploration, the real adventure begins now, in the living of your own precious and unrepeatable life.